this is Jordan from my Wonderlist, and today I wanted to do that tutorial that I've been promising forever on this picture of Kinzie. And I just want to first start off with, I use presets from the Looks Like Film division, and my main preset that I use is LXCN, but for this picture I used their first ones, it was LXC. So I just want to get started right away. And so I use LXC03, as you can see over here, and mainly because I wanted more of like a blue look like it was like dawn. And I want to say I probably took this about a half hour before sunset. I'm not quite sure, but I know it was still like pretty light out, and this was like in the springtime. As you see, the snow's almost melting. But yeah. So first off, I always like reduce my highlights, and I feel like that always brings out like the blues in the sky more, and that's kind of like my signature. Like I love blue skies so much, and I always bring my highlights down usually like whenever I do any editing of any sort. So shadows, I kind of want this more of like a moody look. So I brought those down like a little bit, and you have to kind of like play with them. Like you can't just click on your preset and be like, it's done. No, you have to play a lot with them. You have to kind of figure out like what works for you. And I'm going to try and mimic this as much as I can. I did take this back in like April, and it's December. So just bear with me a little bit. I played with the highlights, or sorry, the whites a little bit, just to kind of bring out her hair, because her hair is like super blonde, and just kind of like play with the blacks a little bit. So that's pretty much like all the tweaking I did. I know it doesn't look like a lot, but it works. So I don't know how anybody else does their exporting, but I pretty much just export. I'm just gonna do this to the desktop. Desktop. Just okay. So then what I do is I open it up in Photoshop. Go to my desktop and open. Okay, so first off, what I do is I got these not presets, but these overlays off of Etsy, and they are the most best like quality I've ever used. And I tried finding them so I could link it below, but I can't seem to find them anywhere. So sorry. You might actually find something else like them on Etsy. Definitely buy them. Like they're totally worth it. Just look at reviews first, of course. So first off, let's see, video. So I actually used two different ones. And I'll show you how to do those in a second. So first off, sorry, I didn't actually do that right. Okay, so I went to like File, Place Embedded, and then you gotta go find your file. So you kind of have to like see where you want it to be placed. And I remember I placed it like about right there. Okay. And then you have to do a gradient so it like fades better. Let's see here. There it is. Oops. Get the mask it. Yep, guys, don't forget the mask. So you have to like play with it a little bit. So I like to have the colors a little deeper towards the top. No. Oh, I'll go back. Okay, so something like that. So what you do is you take your brush, have it on like a really, really low opacity, so like 11, and you brush over, make sure it's black, guys, black right here, and you're going to start erasing a little bit. Like very slow. So like with these kind of pictures, it's really hard, in my opinion, it's really hard to kind of like blend in these trees around here. Actually, I'm gonna go a little bit further because I'm not. And always remember to take off the sky off of your subject, because then people know. And you don't want people to know. You know, like, people know. So, you see how it's like fading? So, like, you have to play around with your opacity as much as you can. Like, say that there's like a solid, like it was solid, and you know, like, it doesn't need to go down this far. Just put it up to 100, it's fine. Like right there. And then I'm getting a little bit close to the trees, so I'll just see. So then, like, what I like to do, so it's not like super strong, back that up. I'll go over it like once to kind of let it fade a little bit. And no, I like it like that. Okay. So yeah, like that's pretty much like that's how I did it in this picture. There's plenty of ways of doing this in Photoshop, and this is just the way I choose that works for me. So click on, I believe it's this, on this layer right here. And what you're going to do is you're going to put a Gaussian blur over it, because if my subject is in focus here, why would the sky be in focus too? So I usually keep it around like a 5, and then it's a lot more believable, you know? Okay. And I'm like really picky on finding my images all the time, so I don't like working with like a bunch of layers. I'm like a complete opposite of like a ton of people. Anyways, so to add the next one, place embedded, and we're using the second sky. Kind of going to do the same thing, and you have to keep in mind, like, okay, the sun is coming from over here, and according to this, the sun is coming from over there. So we kind of like want to mimic that, so just flip it horizontal to make it look more like real. And I'm not putting this in there because this doesn't really match with what I'm going for. So I'll just kind of put it about right there. So, and then mask it. And you're going to do your gradient. I always do the opposite. Whatever. I don't care. You guys are like going to watch this and be like, this chick doesn't know what she's doing. And I love it, because I honestly never know what I'm doing. I just wing everything I do. Okay, so we're going to go back here. We're going to try and fade this bad boy in here. See, this one's a little more difficult because I'm working with darker and those trees suck. But it works. And Kinzie was bomb here because it was super cold outside and she wore a dress for me. And this is when we did the smoke bombs, and it was really cold outside. Okay, so I'm trying not to, and guys, if you ever have to like replace something, just press X and go back to white, and you can just kind of color over it. So what I'm gonna do is I'll probably just like fade in the darkness a little bit again. And like, trust me, I'm not anywhere near done here. Okay. So you guys have to play with it. Like, this isn't, trust me, this isn't like super fast editing. Like, I usually will take my time on stuff like this, but I'm trying to do it for tutorial, so I'm not really taking my time. But you get the gist of it. Okay, so I don't like that. Okay, we'll just do this. And like piece it. There we go. It's a little bit better. Okay. So click on this layer, Gaussian blur, number 5. You see how it makes it kind of look like it's actually in the background? That's what we want. So, oh, I don't like that fading right there, but whatever. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna fix it. Okay. Much better. So after this, I actually went in to do some like dodging and burning. I do a lot of dodging and burning to kind of bring out like the lowlights and highlights, and it just kind of always like adds a little pop to your subject. So like if you see like where it's light right here, that's where you want to put the light, and sometimes it helps to kind of bring out like her shadow's like super harsh right there, and it's making it kind of red. So we don't want, like, we kind of want to lighten that up a little bit just so it doesn't look so creepy, because a red hand is not attractive in any way. Okay, well, in this kind of picture at least. Like, if you have red hands, like, you have beautiful hands, don't worry. So, kind of just, like, bring out the bottom a little bit. I'm so sloppy, and I don't even care. Because you know what, guys? It works. It works for me. Okay, so then, I go to my dark tool, kind of darken this up here. Darken this up here. See, like on my Sigma, my my hood makes like a pretty cool, depending where I am, a pretty cool like vignette around it. So sometimes I take it out, sometimes keep it in. In this case, I'm definitely keeping it in. So let's see here. I think yeah, look at that, it's a huge difference. But I don't want her like glowing, because I think glowing, that like making your person like glow around things doesn't look very like realistic. And you always want to try and make your pictures look as realistic as possible. Like there's nothing wrong with like being artistic, but still try to, like, if that's what you're going for, if you're going for portraits, try and keep things like realistic as possible. Let's see. Like, shout out to the people who can like legitimately make girls' eyes like pop and they look freaking beautiful, because I can't do that. Not yet, at least. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'll group these together and I'll show you kind of like a before and after. So that's before, after, before, after. See how she kind of like pops? Okay. So as far as like this goes, we're gonna go back to dodging and burning, but I have a action. It's like a sunny glow, and I press Command T, and I can make it really, really, really small, so I can mimic. A glowing lantern. So I only use, like, for the glowing lantern, I only use this like once, and then I use another glow to layer it on top. I use the diffuse light glow. And we're gonna go back out and Command T, because I'm on an iMac. I'm not sure, like, remember PC, but I'll have to start getting used to that, because eventually I'll be going back to PC. Okay. So I kind of made that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this. So I have another one to make it a little bit brighter. And then I'm going to make that one a little bit bigger. Just kind of like make it like she's getting lit up. Okay. Flatten that. Okay, so I'm going to do a little frequency separation here real quick, because her arms are all patchy because it was cold outside. So you cannot blame her for this at all. And you can get the frequency separation action from Jessica Kobesi. Sorry if I said that wrong. It's Kobesi. She's like my favorite photographer of all time. And it's not necessarily her work that I love, it's like more her attitude towards literally life. It cracks me up all the time. Okay. So that's like, it's still a red, but it looks a little better. Okay. I also have an action for red to get rid of that redness. There we go. Okay. So now we're gonna go back to a little dodging and burning and kind of lighten up her hair a little bit. So what we're gonna do is make this opacity down and kind of like if she was glowing. And like if you're gonna put a lantern or something glowing, you better make everything else around it glow or lighten up, because that wouldn't make sense if there was like a lantern and it was only glowing right there and everything else around it was dark. So realistic, people, keep it realistic. See, okay. Flatten it. And yeah, that's pretty much like what I did. And I will try and find the Etsy link to these night skies. And there's like, there was like 40 of them that came with it, and it was $8. So definitely inexpensive, definitely affordable if you want to like do more stuff like this. And if there's any other pictures that you want me to do a tutorial on, this is more like my fun work. If you want to see like how I do my everyday edit, I have no problem doing that. I probably will do that next week. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions or wondering where I got actions or whatever, you let me know below. So thank you for watching.